Hi, my name is Nicholas and welcome back to the tutorial of basic typography. And a brief history, a brief recap. We've gone from understanding that type fonts are made with angular lines, straight lines, vertical, horizontal, those are straight lines, and circles. We've done the completely straight lines, that's the vertical and horizontal lines. We've done the easy angular lines, the ones that have the slight angles but just quickly and easily that you could get everything in one go. That's the K, N, V, X, Y, Z. If you want to know about all of these, you could go back to previous videos. Also, we got to the point where we explained how grid combine, so we don't end up getting 6 by 5, you end up getting 5 by 5. If you want to watch this, you could go up to the other episode. I will have it up here, and also I'll have it in the description of this video. We also went through the very basic angular ones, the very basic curved letters, which is the C and G. Then we moved on to the higher basic ones, which is the U, the O, and the Q. And the last one we had the B, the D, and the S. Well, they are the simpler ones, and we've got into the not so simple, not so complex, because none of the calls are actually all that complex. So nice to have you here once more, and this might be the final episode. Well, this might be the final episode. This might not be the final episode. We still have lower cases to do, but that would be in a whole new place. So let's just get to today's job. In the last episode, we had B, D, and S. So the same thing we do all the time. You know, I like saying so much. So you see that? So. Today we are dealing with the P and the R, like PR. Yes, your promotion, PR. And for the PR, we are going to call on our standard 3x5 grid, if you remember. Yep, I think some of you remember, I think some of you have forgotten, but well, for those of you who remember, kudos. For those of you who don't, well, I think you should go back to previous videos and really grab this thing, like grab it, because it is important. It is important. Go and grab it. The P and the R, PR, promotion. All right, let's get to PR. This is definitely going to be the final show. So PR is very basic and simple. It's exactly the same way you make the P, you make the R, and then just a little bit of touch here, a little bit of touch there. So getting into it, we're going to start with the edge as usual, and then unlike before, we're going to make this intersect each other at this point, like as soon as possible. I think what we'll do this time is we'll make both letters side by side, right? To get it rolling. Unlike the P, the R has a very slight story to tell. But let's make the P first. Let's make the P first. So I think what we'll do is we'll first make the P on both sides before we get to the story of what R has to say about what's going on in its life. The usual is, you know, I forgot to turn on the black again. So the very first guy, the straight line, he's just there, like bold. Hey, I'm here, right? So he's here, and then the next thing we head on to is the partial lines. So remember I said you could make styles out of this. This is already a P in a stylish manner. This is an F, actually, a stylized F. Well, the thing about the arrow is the arrow comes from here, right? For the first time in a long time, we're going to split a full line in half. Should I have explained it separately? I think I should have explained it separately. So to explain it separately, we'll quickly drop a grid right beside it. Let's get serious. I will continue the arrow here and start all over here. Don't get confused. I'm saying the same thing over and over again, so don't get confused. I'll make the P just like the way we made it right here. Now, when I was saying something about the P's, the R is the only letter that has a curve. Well, it's not really the only letter. We're just going to take the principle of the W, which is the same principle as the principle of the V, where we split a whole straight line into two angular halves. So we're going to put the first one here, which is supposed to be here, and we're going to put the second one just right beside it here, which is supposed to be I've removed it. It's supposed to be yeah. And then let's get down to the R. First part out, first part out. I guess you're already seen it. It comes in, it comes in. I believe you've seen it all already. If you've not seen it, then I think you need to go back to the previous videos to understand how this whole thing is working, if you've not been following from the onset. If you've not been following from the onset, I'm pretty sure, I think we've made 26 letters of the alphabet already. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I almost said 16, 17, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Are they 26 letters or 25 letters? Jeez, I think I need to go back to kindergarten. So to confirm we've made all of it, I'm going to create a huge artboard, right? Really huge artboard right here. I don't bother about sizing, I didn't size it. And I'm going to pull this out right now. Now we are going to start by removing all the letters we have made, so we know the one that seems like it's missing. First, we made the letter E, F, H, E, F, H, I. Yes, we have a letter that's missing. One letter, I just found him quickly. The letter J. The letter J is not here, and nobody seemed to remind me. Wow, aren't you guys surprising? So letter J is kind of like every other thing here. It's an angular line, I think. Yeah, it's an angular line. That's why it's a curve. That's why I didn't even remember he does exist. So let's put him among this. I mean, this should be the last episode, so why not? He should just join in. Well, for that to happen, we'll need one last grid. One last grid. The grid is similar sized. Well, the letter J is not something you should be bothered about much. It's very, very basic, very simple, very quick. All you need is just two beautiful two. Did I say two? Oh, sorry, three. Yeah, three beautiful circles. Like you're making the bottom of the O, the Q, and the U. If you don't know all that, again, I repeat, go back to the previous videos and go watch them, go understand them from there. So the letter J, the basic letter J, it's by far one of the simplest letter forms you can find out there. It starts from the top all the way to the bottom, right? But not completely to the bottom. It goes again like this. It goes like this. Now there's something I want to show you before I finish the letter J. I'm going to bring in the other font and we're going to just click the letter J for you. And I want you to observe these two fonts. I want you to observe these fonts, right? I want you to observe the J's of these fonts. Do you see that some have this upper part, some don't? You see, as you scroll through, you see different ones with different. Let's put this right here because this is very, very close to what we're looking for. This is very, very close to what we're looking for. So the capital letter, the uppercase letter J, like we're almost at the end of it, right? I told you something about stylized. You can make styles. All you need to do is learn the basic. This is the closest to the proper letter J. So there we are. Here we are with everything that needs to be done. All right, so what I'm about to do is I am about to arrange them in a typographical format. Now, the thing with typography is the distance between every letter should not be more than should not be more than one grid, like one grid line. So let me just quickly do it for you here. 100 by 100 as usual, and that's if it's going to be 4 dividers by 4 dividers. That's 5 by 5 grid. This is the standard 5 by 5 grid, right? And if I want to get one line of it, like if I want to get one line of it, I'd simply need to I'll make sure it's the same height, right? It's as if I'm making a letter I, but this time without these long cuts, these long stems at the top and at the bottom, these extensions. So as you can see, this is the basic grid. This is the standard grid height for all these letters. What I'm going to do is I am going to simply remove all of these. And this is what we need. This is everything we need for our spacing. So this is the proper spacing measurement. So I'm going to make this particular color very different from the rest. Let's say yellow. Yeah, so we can easily identify it at all times. It's still right here. So how is it done? What do I mean when I say one grid line spacing between every letter? So this is the letter A, right? And because this is the letter A, because this is the letter A. I'll take everything out of it. This is the letter A. I will make sure this is where it touches, right? So I'm going to pull up a grid directly above all of this, so you understand what I'm trying to say. Just for the grid is just for reference purposes, nothing more. So if I pull up a grid and say this, you see this exact place where it is? That's the spacing for typography, the proper spacing for typography. So each time I take away these, you see that spacing? That's the accurate spacing for typography, basic typography. Now, when you're making your own stylized typography, you have your own number of grids, you have your very own number of grid spacings to use. But for basic typography, 5x5, 3x5, even this weird Q that is 4x5, they are all focusing on just one grid space in between each other to get that legibility, to get that clarity, that visibility, and especially the one thing that typography is focused on is readability. So do you see how organized it's becoming right now? I would speed it up, and when I'm done, you'll see how it looks like entirely. Now, for the letter Q, you see the difference is that unlike the rest letters, there I have exactly one line between them. The letter Q doesn't have one line between it and the next letter, else you get this. If it has one complete line between itself and the next letter, this is what you get. Which is not appropriate. So what I was saying when it comes to the letter Q has this, should I call it abnormality when it comes to the rules. It's the only letter that has the 4x3 grid, and it is the only letter where the fourth grid is not always accounted for. It's not always looked upon like a serious grid. So you end up having a spacing like this, as if it's an O. The stroke is there, but it doesn't have that effect of a grid line of its own. So while you're making your own typography style, your own font style, your own typographical style, your own calligraphic art style, you will always realize this when it comes to the letter Q. The letter Q is not treated like it is all that important. The extra grid at the edge is not always treated like it's serious and important. So back to what I was doing. You can see me resizing the shapes to fit with the grid I have. I have the grid here, so it's supposed to fit the exact size. That way it's going to be perfect, like a perfect match for it. So this is the end of everything. As you can see, typography is it also brings organization and neatness to its workplace. It's not just about, hey, we want to make something, we want to make an artwork and all that stuff. No, it also has this organization with it. As you can see, I'm trying to make it look as good as possible upon this artboard. And whoa, that was a mistake. I was supposed to have them individually grouped properly. All right, so now now we can have them properly arranged on the artboard. So this is it. This is the letter A to Z uppercase typography, like the basic typography it can be, in 7 episodes. And I'm glad you guys were able to join me all through this episode. I'm glad you had the chance to learn. If you have any questions, you can leave it in the comment below. Do well to subscribe and like the video. Apart from that, also, if do you have any other view, like feedback on how the video looks like and how you want some changes on the video, what you feel needs to be changed in the video, you could also reach out to me by my email, or you could just leave a comment down below. I'll be making the lowercase letters, and the lowercase letters, looking at what happened here, I don't want that whole time drag that we had to go through here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to making those ones with individuality to it. So that would go like there are 26 alphabets of the letter, so we'll have at least 26 episodes where we will deal with them individually, because they actually need the individuality, especially when it comes to the basic and the stylized ones. Stylized ones, you could mistake a basic step for a stylized one for the lowercase very easily. So I will have that in a separate playlist entirely, though I'll also try to put it up here when it's ready, so you could easily just switch on in case you're looking for that. So my name remains Nicholas, and like I've been always saying, this is basic typography and not calligraphy. Calligraphy is when you're doing it by hand. So if you've been doing this by hand all through on a sketchbook or sketchpad, well, you've been carrying out basic calligraphy. So basic typography and basic calligraphy are actually the same thing. The only difference is one is being done on a laptop or system or computer or device, electronic device, and the other one is being done by hand. So thank you all for being here, and good night, good luck, bye.